Okay, you're right. It's not that bad, but when it moves, I don't want to fall off. So I'm going over here to a double-decker bus where you can actually see everything. You know what the perfect idea I have? Just put my phone like this, Mila. Like this, so they can see everything.
Yeah, but you have to angle it because otherwise you're not have the reflection of the. Otherwise you're gonna have a reflection of the.
No, yeah, if I'm doing it like this, but I don't want to show the license plate. Because I have to do it like this, so. That's it now, they're about to move, I'm not joking. Oh look, we can hop on. Mila, we can hop on. Hop on. Can we hop on that?
That's a different company.
I know, though. I'll be back when it starts to move. But first, I'm gonna go in the back, see how it looks. Okay, it looks pretty nice. Big tower right there. Mom and Dad. The castle, whatever it is. And we are listen all the way over there. Love you. And we got Mila here. Where? I don't know where. I'll be back when this bus starts to move. We're only moving it. I know that this bus goes pretty fast.
So, very good morning and welcome to your Big Bus Tour. This is your red tour with your live guided commentary. Good morning, my name is Leanne and I'll be your tour guide for this tour. And downstairs driving today is Kevin. Good morning, my darling. So, it's currently just you guys on the bus, so it's a private tour until we pick some other people up. Oh, okay, Kevin, they said that we won't pick anyone else up and then they'll give us £100 if we do that. Perfect, that's wonderful. Thank you very much, very kind of you. So, it is Wednesday, the 3rd of August. Where is the time going? Just madness. And it's set to be a much drier day today in London, unlike the last couple of days, which have been a little rainy, so hopefully it will be a drier kind of day today, hopefully. And on your left-hand side here is Green Park. Green Park is the smallest of the 8 royal flats here in London, and if you were to walk straight through Green Park, you'd get down to Buckingham Palace. And Buckingham Palace is the royal home and office of Her Majesty the Queen. Just through this park here on the left-hand side. Buckingham Palace has 775 rooms. The Queen has admitted she hasn't been into them all. Let's be honest, she's got better things to do with her life than going to 775 rooms. And Buckingham Palace is open to the public over the summers. You can actually go and do a tour around Buckingham Palace during the summer while the Queen is on her holidays up at Balmoral up in Scotland. So Buckingham Palace opens over the summer for tours. So if you have time, then you might want to do that perhaps. So that's just straight through the park there, Buckingham Palace. Now the reason this park might be called Green Park is because back in the 1600s, King Charles II was on the throne and he was taking a walk around this park with his wife, Catherine of Braganza, and Catherine said, "Oh darling husband, I think you should pick a flower and give it to the most beautiful woman in the park." So he did. He picked a flower, but unfortunately gave it to the maid. Oh, ouch, awkward. So, Catherine stormed back to the palace in a rage and demanded all the flowers be unpicked from this park, which is why it is so green, which is why it is called Green Park, because there's no flowers in there. As you can see, it's just completely green. And that's the end of your private tour. It's just people coming on the bus. Oh, never mind. Not everyone can say they've had a private tour, so you know. You did, for one stop. Still kind of. It's one other two. So this is our second stop on our route for Hard Rock Camping. Maybe you are, maybe they're not getting on. The right hand side where the brown canopies are is the Hard Rock Cafe. Now the Hard Rock Cafe opened in 1971, and that Hard Rock Cafe over there on the right hand side was the very first one in the whole wide world. Oh my goodness. So the Hard Rock Cafe is celebrating its 45th birthday this year. Of course, many Hard Rock Cafes around the world, but the one here on the right was the very first one. Morning. Hello. Morning. And here on your left hand side is the Bomber Command Memorial, which was unveiled in 2012. And this is a World War II memorial here on your left hand side to commemorate the 55,573 airmen who lost their lives during the Bomber Command operation. Now this was a World War II operation, and that number, 55,573, is actually greater than the amount of people who currently serve altogether in our Royal Air Force today. So quite shocking really that many people died in the Second World War. That is half of the Bomber Command operation. There's 125,000 men in the Bomber Command, so 55,000 of them lost their lives during the Second World War, so a huge loss. And you'll see in the middle of the memorial here, in just a moment on the left, the statue of the soldiers, some of the different ranks of the Bomber Command, just in the middle of the memorial here on the left hand side. Really beautiful, poignant memorial. There's a quote from Winston Churchill there as well, who was the Prime Minister during the Second World War, and the logos of the Bomber Command and the Royal Air Force on the front of the memorial as well. Really lovely, very poignant memorial here at the end of Piccadilly. And a lot of the money for this memorial was raised by Robin Gibb, the late Robin Gibb, one of the Bee Gees. He raised a lot of the money for this memorial. So they're trying to get him an honorary knighthood because he basically funded that whole memorial. So there is like a little form you can sign, so if you're up there at any point, give it a little signature. Alrighty then, coming on to a very busy roundabout. This is the Duke of Wellington Place, better known as Hyde Park Corner. And on this roundabout, we've got quite a lot of memorials again, and some more war memorials on this roundabout to different countries, and around us as well, quite a few memorials to have a look at as we head on to the roundabout. The one that is directly in front of us, the black pole structure just in front of us, kind of over on the right, is the New Zealand Memorial over there on the in front of us on the right, which is in the shape of the Southern Cross, which is just in front of you there. You'll see it's in a cross when we get around the other side of the roundabout. So this is the main roundabout that serves the west of London, so lots of people coming into work this morning from the west, and lots of buses serving this area as well. So it's a very, very busy area of London. I don't know how anybody drives onto this roundabout. It is a nightmare. Down to Buckingham Palace down there to the left. In the middle of the roundabout here we've got the Wellington Arch, built to commemorate the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. On the left hand side here the walls of Buckingham Palace Gardens, and on the right here is the Australia Memorial here on your right hand side. So that's the Australia Memorial there. It's usually a water feature, but the water isn't turned on today, and basically the water is meant to represent the tears. Very sad. And on the other side of the memorial are the names of all the towns and cities where the soldiers were from in Australia. Belgravia down there to the left, and on the right here, the Royal Regiment of Artillery Memorial here on your right hand side. That's a World War I memorial there on the right. Down there to the left, areas of Kensington and Knightsbridge. That's where Harrods is and a lot of the museums as well. And then on the right hand side here, a statue of the Duke of Wellington, and he's looking over at his old house here on the left hand side. This is Apsley House, also known as Number 1 London. That's its address, because that is the first house you would have seen when you came into London from the west back in the 1700s. So we're coming into stop number 3 now for the Queen Mother Gates, Harrods and Hyde Park. Queen Mother Gates there on the left, Harrods also down there to the left as well. And here on the left as well, the first naked statue here in London, the statue of Achilles. There he is. So this is number 3. Does anybody want to get off here, or everybody's okay? No, we're fine. That's me. Okay, over on the right hand side, this very tall hotel here on the right hand side is the London Hilton on Park Lane, which opened in 1963. Now when this hotel was unveiled, the Queen was very unhappy, oh dear, because you see some of the rooms in that hotel look into the gardens of Buckingham Palace. So the Queen was a bit annoyed to find out some people might be spying on her, walking the doggies, oh dear. Heading up Park Lane now. Just over there ahead of us on the right hand side is the Dorchester, there on the right, which opened in 1931. Sylvester Stallone got married on the roof of that hotel there on the right hand side. The Queen's husband had his bachelor party there, the Duke of Edinburgh, and our darling Elizabeth Taylor had 5 honeymoons there. Wow, what a gal. That surely must be bad luck. I have no idea. So that's the Dorchester there on the right. Here on the left hand side is the largest of the 8 royal parks. This is Hyde Park. So we've just come from the smallest park, Green Park. This one is the largest park, Hyde Park. We've got the Joy of Life fountain here on the left hand side, and over on your right hand side, the largest hotel here in London, the Grosvenor House here on your right hand side. So we're coming into stop number 4 now. This will be for Marble Arch and Oxford Street, and also for anybody who wishes to get onto the blue bus. If you need a commentary in a different language, you can swap for the blue bus at this stop. So this is us coming into stop number 4 now. Marble Arch, Oxford Street, and the blue bus as well. Anybody want to get off here? No? Okay. Lovely. So this is number 4. On your left hand side here, this area of Hyde Park is called Good Morning. Hello, hello. Morning. 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 Good morning.
What did he say?
Morning. Morning. You just joined us. Welcome to your big bus tour. Morning. This is your. Oh. Do you want to leave that downstairs? This is your red tour with your life guide country. Good morning, my name is Leanne and I'll be your tour guide today. And downstairs driving is Kevin. Our next stop will be for Madame Tussauds. That will be our next stop, number 5. So we're currently in the Marble Arch area of London. We'll see Marble Arch again in just a couple of minutes. But before this area was known as Marble Arch, it was known as Tyburn. And up until 1783, this is where you would have come to be hung here in London. Oh, if you're a very naughty boy or girl, you'd be hanged for your crimes. Here in London, you could be hanged for all sorts of reasons. Thieving, treason, setting your house on fire, stealing a sheep, being ugly. No, I'm joking, that was not true. Just here on the left-hand side where these trees are, in the middle of these trees is a circle that tells you that is where the site of the Tyburn tree was. Now, the Tyburn tree is a big 3-sided wooden structure made from big wooden beams. And on the Tyburn tree, you can hang up to 24 people at any one time. Holy guacamole. Crazy. But that was just the norm back in the day. And on the right here is the Marble Arch, ladies and gentlemen. The Marble Arch was built in 1829 by a man called John Nash, which is the name you'll be hearing quite a lot of throughout the tour. And the Marble Arch used to be part of Buckingham Palace. Then in 1837, Queen Victoria moved into Buckingham Palace and she wanted to extend the palace, so they removed the Marble Arch and moved it up to this location, which is now better known as Marble Arch. Heading down London's busiest shopping street now, this is Oxford Street. And Oxford Street is 1.5 miles long with shops on each side. So that means there's 3 miles of shopping! Woohoo! And just then, Madame Tussauds opened in 1802, originally down on the Strand, then moved up to this location in 1835. Founded by a lady called Marie Tussaud, who was a French-born Swiss woman, who fled the French Revolution in the 1800s and came to London to exhibit her waxworks. So Madame Tussauds is a great place to go if you like taking selfies, and we all love a good selfie, let's be honest. You can have selfies with world leaders, pop stars, film stars, sports stars, the Marvel superheroes, Star Wars characters, and if anybody has heard of the Grumpy Cat has his own waxwork in Madame Tussauds now, which is mad. Now, that is a very small queue. Later on, this will be queuing for up to 2 to 3 hours to get in. However, if you buy the tickets from us, you will get priority entrance. So if you are going to go to Madame Tussauds, please buy your tickets from us. They are cheaper as well, and you'll also get priority entrance. On the left-hand side here, the Royal Academy of Music, founded in 1882. That is where Sir Elton John studied music at the Royal Academy. Here on your left-hand side is Harley House. This is where young Joan and Jackie Collins grew up as children in this building here on the left-hand side. And down to the right-hand side is Harley Street, where a lot of private medical and cosmetic surgeries are. Also down there is where the practice of Lionel Logue was. And Lionel Logue was an Australian speech therapist, most famous for helping King George VI, the Queen's father, with his speech therapy. And of course, if you've seen that lovely movie, The King's Speech, you'll know that story quite well. Regent's Park just behind us there now as well. Coming into Park Crescent now, also designed by John Nash, who designed the Marble Arch. In front of you there, the former tallest building in London, the BT Towers. That was once the tallest building in London. Of course, the tallest building in London is now the Shard. And we will see the Shard later on, if you're still with me, over by the Tower of London.
Tower of London.
Okay, so heading down to Portland Place now. And this is a rather wide road, Portland Place. It's 38 metres wide, Portland Place. Now the reason for this is because back in the 1700s there was a man who used to live in this area called Lord Foley. And he lived right at the end of the street here at Portland Place. He had a massive house. So we're heading up Portland Place now. Lovely Georgian style houses in this area. And if you have a look to your left and right, you'll notice that a lot of the doors in this area are quite big. They're very large, double doors. Now the reason for this is because back in the day, it was very unfashionable to walk in London, you see. There weren't any pavements like there are now. It was all muddy and dirty and lots of horse poo everywhere. So nobody wanted to walk around up here because they didn't want to get their nice clothes ruined. So what they did is they installed these double doors to accommodate the sedan chairs. And the sedan chairs were these very large chairs that were carried by your servants. So what would happen is your butler would come to the door and your butler would cry, "Cheho! Cheho!" And then the servants would come through the door with the big chair. You'd all sit on the big chair and the servants would carry it to wherever you wanted to go. Sounds pretty nice. And as you were leaving, you'd shout back to your friends and family, "Cheho! Cheho!" And Cheerio has developed over time into this phrase we now know as Cheerio. So that's where Cheerio comes from. It's from Cheerio. So next time you're leaving anywhere, make sure you say Cheerio to your friends or families. Let's have a little practice. Let me hear you all say Cheerio. Oh yes, you're all very posh now, very gorgeous. So when you get off the bus, make sure you say Cheerio. Very nice.
Yeah, I want to.
Anyway, so that is where Cheerio came from. So we're going to turn right in just a moment. We're going to carry on driving straight up this road for around a mile and a half. We get up to the very famous Abbey Road Studios. Ooh, of course, Abbey Road, very much associated with the Beatles. It was up at Abbey Road Studios where the Beatles recorded a lot of their music. It's also up there where that very famous zebra crossing is that they're all crossing the road on the album cover. And that zebra crossing is still there, should you wish to go and have a photo on it. So it's a mile and a half to walk up there. However, if you'd rather take the underground, you can get off at the next stop and take the Jubilee line, one stop to St John's Wood, and that's a lot closer to Abbey Road. Also up near there is the Lord's Cricket Ground, is up near there as well. So if you're a Beatles fan or a cricket fan, head on up to St John's Wood on the underground. So turning right now, this will be coming into our next stop, which will be stop number 5. As I say, this will be for Abbey Road and Lord's Cricket Ground, also for Madame Tussauds, the Waxworks Museum. If you haven't bought your tickets for Madame Tussauds yet, you can buy them at this stop from our customer service representatives for a discount and also with priority entrance as well. This is also your stop for Baker Street. If we have any Sherlock Holmes fans, Baker Street is just down here to the left. And this gift horse sits in Trafalgar Square. So this is Trafalgar Square here on your left hand side, set out to commemorate the Battle of Trafalgar. In front of you there, the Elizabeth Tower, the home of Big Ben. So Big Ben is the name of the bell, and the tower is called the Elizabeth Tower, named after our longest reigning monarch, Queen Elizabeth. So Big Ben is inside of the tower. And Big Ben is a very big bell. He weighs 13.5 tons. He's a big boy, alright. So London Eye over there on the left, and next to London Eye, County Hall, the home of the London Dungeon, Shrek's Adventure London and Sea Life London Aquarium, which all open in 15 minutes. So if you want to go there, I would suggest going now, because it's the beginning of the day and you want to get in there just before everything kind of kicks off. So, and if you want to buy tickets for any of those attractions for London Eye, London Dungeon, Shrek's Adventure or Sea Life London Aquarium, you can buy them at this next stop for discount and also for priority entrance. Now we're heading off to the east of London now, towards Covent Garden, St Paul's Cathedral, Tower Bridge and Tower of London. If anybody wants to get over to Buckingham Palace now, what to do is change. Here is just down this hill here on the right hand side. So the pier is on the river, coincidentally, if you want to get on the river cruise. Okay? So Tower Bridge, which was built in 1894, designed by Horace Jones. That is the lifting bridge that lifts up and down to let the tall ships through. And here on your right is the Tower of London. The only castle here in London is the Tower of London. And just over there